Hi guys, welcome to the new series. My name is Heather Broomhall. I am with Heather Broomhall Photography, and I have a guest here today for conversations about beauty. And we're super excited to get started. So why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do and where you live?
So my name is Antonina Marina Gomez. Um, I'm right now a homemaker. I live in San Diego, and I don't know, like, what I'm originally a TV journalist. I'm from Ukraine, but right now I'm just taking it easy step by step and enjoying the motherhood.
Oh my gosh, I love your accent, by the way. And so, okay, let's talk about, I want to focus with you on about motherhood. So first of all, tell us a little bit about your kids. You have two children and their ages, and go ahead and tell us that and then we'll get started.
All right, so my elder son is 4 years old. His name is Adam. And then this year we had a Corona baby because everybody has like baby this year or they're pregnant.
About to
And
have a baby, yeah.
our our small child is Dominic, and he's 7 months. He just turned 7 months.
Oh my gosh. How much does he weigh? Is he big? Is he a big 7 months or?
No, he's like, so my older son, he was super big child. Like in three first months of his life, he was like already changed three sizes of diapers. He was
Gosh.
always like one or two sizes ahead, and by the, I think by 7 months old, he was 10 kilograms. I
Oh
don't
my
know
gosh.
how much is in pounds, but it's like a normal weight of kind of like 1 year old.
I know. What are
and
you feeding him? Oh my goodness.
And well, he had a talent with foods. He was like always hungry, so I was like constantly breastfeeding him. And then he grew his first tooth like between 3 and 4 months, and then
Mhm.
ever since that, like by the year, he had all of his teeth, and he was learning how to eat just like this. But because he was such a heavy child, it was like very hard for him like to like learn how to move, because I mean,
Yeah, when you grow that fast, right?
yeah. And then like since I was, like since I was overweight all my like childhood too, it was like a concern for me. And I was like should I just not feed him? So like once he started crawling and then running, he just like maintained his weight that he had from 7 months up until he was one. And right now he's like tall. I don't know like what's his height right now. We are waiting like to see the pediatrician like once he turns four. But like everybody, when he sees him, he's like, oh my god, he's only three, like we thought he's five. He's tall, but he is on the slender like side. And my younger one, he is completely opposite. He still has no teeth. He's like BMI is 5% percentile. We like with him, I had like clogged ducts. One time I had mastitis, like really bad one in ER. So like
Oh
he just like
no.
doesn't get how to eat solids yet. So yeah, they're very different. He is like just just about average.
It's so funny how siblings can be so different. It's just
Yeah.
completely night and day. But so on the conversation of beauty, when you were growing up, what was your view of beauty? I mean, I know so this is sort of pre Google, pre-internet a little bit. And so, at least for me, I had to rely on, older people in my family, maybe my friends' parents or something, things I would overhear. But basically, it's just family and friends. We didn't really get that information from anywhere else. And so, for the people that I did look up to, the role models that I had, it was all in magazines. And of course, they were all, perfect and photoshopped and those sorts of things. Because I definitely grew up in the Photoshop era. So for me, that was really, oh, and TV shows. That's where I got my, role models and started learning my sense of beauty. So I have a very unique story, but for you, how was it like growing up? You were in Ukraine or you were here?
In Ukraine. I moved like to United States 5 years ago, six, five, 20.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it was mostly like magazines, TV shows. I mean, right now as an older
And just a
person,
little bit.
I will just
Okay. Go ahead.
yeah,
Whatever
it
you
was
just
like
said, we missed
magazines.
it.
Yeah, magazines and TV shows probably, and then maybe like those elder people like cousins in your family that were like already older than you. You'll just watch them. You kind of want to be, but like I was born right after the Soviet Union fell apart, and it was still kind of very. We didn't have anything from abroad. We didn't like watch abroad much abroad shows, or like had any like magazines from abroad. We didn't have internet then, like when you can Google and watch something like streaming. So yeah, it was just like something right there, those magazines, those shows.
And so a lot of it was definitely you relied on your personal relationships for the most part, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And were they supportive to you? Do you think they taught you good lessons? Or how did that really influence you as you grew up? Because I know for a lot of people, at least, in my experience personally, and also what I've seen my friends go through, is that a lot of the older generations, like they just don't talk about a lot of things and they don't really prepare you for beauty and really prepare you for this idea of beauty that's literally uh, created by the media world, so it's what the fashion world says is fashionable and beautiful and things like that. So for me personally, there wasn't a lot of conversations like that. Is it a supportive environment when you were growing up, and what did you learn from that?
It was like mixed because, as I told you, I was overweight, and so for me, I nobody had like conversations with me again, like because I was overweight. My mom like was like extremely supportive, like, oh my god, you will be just fine, you're just like a little bit older and like you'll be just fine, like once you get taller it will like spread or something. But and I used to have my friends, they were like fine like with me too, but then it were like um it's like crazy to say, but it will be like teachers in the school who will be like body shaming you, but it won't be straight. My mom was like super supportive, like over supportive. And then my friends were like, I don't know, or they like, we had, like sort of conversation, but we'll be like, oh, this makeup, let's like do the makeups to each other. Have you seen this magazine? Have you seen this show? Um, and then it will be like teachers also who will be like body shaming, but they won't do it straight. They will just like you less than other kids.
Mhm.
So like, well, I don't know what's happening, and I know it's not my behavior, it's not that like I suck in studying, but something is going on. And then like, what's the reason? Probably the way I look, because
I know that's so not good. Oh my gosh. But I feel like a lot of things that go on today, like, do you feel, I guess my question is, do you feel that, did your mom ever like prepare you for motherhood and the changes that would take place, in your body and mentally, when you got pregnant and after childbirth, and I guess up to today? I mean, did she ever prepare you for any of that?
my mom was a single mother, and she was always like, um motherhood is just the end of the world. It's like the end of yourself, and this is it. No, not up until like after delivery, we were like having conversations about like body and yeah.
Yeah, no,
Because
same
I think,
thing.
you know, like my like we never had a kind of conversation with my mom about like sex, and like it was a slight one because when like I lost my virginity, I just came and I was like, "What's done, it's done," you know.
Right.
And then like she will be like sometimes asking if I will have a boyfriend and if we are having anything. And then one day I had a boyfriend, and then one day I became pregnant. And then this is she was like, well, I
So
don't know, congratulate you or my condolences. I don't know.
no. So I feel like I was speaking to someone earlier and they were talking about like no one ever told me that, I would have all this hair falling out, after I, had my baby and all these things like that. And for me, this isn't an issue yet, but something that I definitely want to learn about. And I know there's viewers out there that don't have like the inside scoop on what it's like to be pregnant. And I'm sitting here and I'm worried about like as I'm getting older, I'm 34, and as I get older, I'm starting to notice like this like suntan like mustache that's like permanent now. Like I don't know why it's there, if it's gonna get worse or what's happening, but I'm starting to notice. And I'm just like, no one ever prepares you for these things. And that's just the physical side of it. What about the mental side? And do you feel like are you married now?
Yep.
You're married? Okay. And do you feel like your idea of beauty changed when you got married from, say, when you were growing up?
Actually, no. Like I wasn't doing like crazy makeup just because, you know, like I have this like super small eyes. And then on the super small eyes, I have like super short lashes. And so like it's not much that I could. And I think my first time, like I got professional makeup, and I had like officially first time like my eyebrows removed when it was like trial makeup for the
Yeah.
graduation. And then it was even like some fancy salon right now. It was like something that was closer to my house, or like when my mom went like to do her nails or petty, I don't know. And the lady who was like 50 years old, I don't know, she gave me this like ridiculous makeup. There's like, I think, and it was only half of my face because it was trial, and I didn't like it. And like I never used to wear a lot of makeup, and my husband like liked me because I think I never took my husband serious as we were dating something. And I was like always showing up because we were like friends for a very long time, and I was showing up like after dates or um just, you know, no makeup.
Yeah,
Well, no makeup because I would never like leave the house even without like small touch.
totally.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I will be wearing pants and some shirts. And now, you know, just I really like that I have like this natural beauty, if I can call name this beauty. But yeah, I'm enjoying like, I mean, sometimes I really want to do the makeup, but I'm just feeling that I don't want like baby lick me or like touch me, then put his hands to his mouth. And I don't
Mhm.
know how to make that cosmetic, although like I use all vegan stuff. So I mean, I'm pretty much, I always wore like, uh, I'm saying I'm lower maintenance girl. I don't need much. And I'm really happy about it because, you know, sometimes men, they meet women and they're like, oh, she looks great. And then, like, I have my income, or like I have my parents' money, and I'm maintaining this all. And then after I get
Mhm.
married, pregnant, I'm losing like my income, and then I can't do anything like this. Or like right now, what happened with like quarantine people, I don't know. And then husband was like, wait a minute.
It's a whole change. I know that there are some women that, they always want their makeup perfect and, their outfits and everything, just has to be perfect. And then that's completely great. That's fine. And then there's other women who are just like, no makeup every day, wear whatever they want, in their nightgown if they want, or their pajamas. And that's okay too. So I feel like as long as you feel comfortable yourself and you don't look outwardly to those other things, and that's the most healthy choice you can do. So I think it's
I sorry to interrupt. I will tell you this much. In Ukraine, like woman is like not allowed to leave the house, like to throw the trash out, to go like to the store, like for the groceries, without makeup, high heels, even though it looks ridiculous, but like, yeah, this is kind of it is over there. And then I came over here in United States first time when I was 18 years old in 2008, 10 or like 11. And I went to Texas first, and like usually if we go to the nightclub, we like in Ukraine you put like lots and lots of cosmetic, everything like shiny on yourself, heels of course. And then in Texas it was like I just came from work and my friends were like, hey, let's go, to the club. And it was a Galveston, smaller city in Texas island, and I'm like, I don't look like club. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And then I come over there and people like in t-shirts and jeans. So that like was a huge click in my mind. And then you see, like more when United States were like more exposed to like Ukraine and other like former Soviet Union countries, you look like, oh, the celebrity left the house like in like
yeah.
joggers and like oversized shirts and like dirty. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Complete
we're like,
opposite,
this is
right?
like so cool. I think first year over here it was Black Friday and I went to Macy's and I saw some women like shopping in pajamas and I was like, wait a second, can I do that too?
Were you happy? You're like, finally I found my people, or were you like,
Yeah,
what is
yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
no. Yeah, I like really enjoy it because like you can just be yourself and like nobody like gives very much opinion about like what are you wearing and like if you have makeup on or no.
Gotcha. I love that story. Do you feel like, well, let me start here. Do you have anything to, like, any knowledge to pass on, to those who may be listening that are either trying to get pregnant or who are younger, that, I don't know, what did you go through like physically in your first pregnancy? Was it an easy pregnancy? What are some of the changes you noticed? Was it all physical? Was it some mental?
So since I was like always struggling, well, I was always struggling with the weight. First and foremost, like I needed to put out all my bad habits. I was like smoking at the time and I was occasionally drinking. So that one was no. And then since I wasn't like, and then I could have gone like days without food. Like I can just like drink coffee and like go days without food. Once I got pregnant and I put out smoking, I just like needed to snack all the time. And thanks God it was like summertime, springtime, so it was like a lot of fruits around. But I started eating. Like I went from 0 to like 100. I like I didn't I think like up until like last months of pregnancy, people couldn't tell that I'm pregnant because I'm tall.
Uh-huh.
So my stomach, like baby probably was just like laying down, standing on his head, And only when he was like getting bigger and it was not enough space, then like he was kind of showing up. But yes, and then first pregnancy, yeah, it was like increased appetite. And then maybe I was still like first months able to go to the gym, and then I wasn't able just because of my work. And then, but we still had a house with a huge garden, so I was watering the plants. I was picking up all the fruits that fell on the ground. Then my
To eat them,
husband,
right?
then like maybe on month 8 of the
Mhm.
pregnancy, I was around 35 weeks. I washed my husband's car while he was in a business trip. So I was pretty, and then like I wasn't driving. I didn't have driver's license, so I'll just walk around a lot. It was like pretty easy up until like the day of the labor.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Only one, like I think on last months of pregnancy, I was peeing a lot. It's like it was impossible to sleep at night. And my husband hated that because I'll go to pee and wake him up all the time.
All night long, yeah.
But the second one was harder. I was kind of like nauseous all the time. I wasn't vomiting, nothing like that, but I was nauseous. And my back was hurting like from the very beginning. And then I was making jokes because on week 15 my doctor diagnosed me with a placenta previa. It's like when placenta is under your baby. So in best case scenario, it's planned cesarean. In the worst
Mhm.
case scenario, it's bleeding that you might not feel, and it's unplanned cesarean and can be even worse. So then doctor was just like, oh, you can't do anything because like even you sneezing might provoke that bleeding. So I stopped going to the gym, and then like all my plans started to fall apart for the second pregnancy. I was like trying to make up for the first one because I didn't have baby shower, I didn't have pregnancy photo shoot. I miss a lot, and I was planning to do that. And yes, and I like, didn't go to the gym as I wanted. So I was like, okay, I can do it for second baby. And then up until I think February, so it was in December. And in February, they were checking me. In February, they finally placenta moved. And they're like, okay, you can go back to the gym. I like went
Mhm.
like a month, and then in March we had a lockdown. So the gyms were closed again. So I was like, wow, the God like really doesn't want me to work out this pregnancy.
As it just gets worse. I know how you said you also had like your ducts was the ducts
Yeah.
were blocked. So were you
Mhm.
able to breastfeed or how did that work?
Yeah, like baby, just my both kids, they're sleep like pretty good sleepers. So we were able to like I was pretty blessed with the breastfeeding. I had enough milk, but for a second baby, I think I had too much milk. So I will have the block dots, and I won't feel it up until like I have a fever. And yeah, one time it like sort of was one day of fever, then second time was nothing, and then third
Mhm.
time I brought my son to like smaller son to check up, and I was like almost passing out. I was like, I don't feel good. And oh, and what I want to say that after first child, after first delivery, I got migraines. Like I never had migraines in my life, but after first delivery, I got migraines. Maybe it's kids, but yeah. So I had the migraine the day, and I was like, all right, maybe I don't feel good because of migraine. No, like when I came home, like fever was 105. And I was like,
Oh
all
my
right,
goodness.
I can just have a Tylenol, lay down, sleep. And then at night, I was 106, and the fever won't go away. Yeah, and then I go to doctor, like to emergency room. It was in the middle of the night because I was like, I don't know what to do. And because of Corona, everybody's like
Mhm.
also weird about it. They have, oh, you have a fast heartbeat. Let's put you down. That was crazy. But yeah, ever since that, I think I'm ready. Right now, I know all the like and one and 101 secrets, like how to get rid of blocked duct or like
You know it
mastitis.
all.
Yes, but like first few times I wasn't ready.
Gotcha. Do you think so? You're still recovering from all that because you gave birth, what, 7 months, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So are you happy with, I mean, just frankly, are you happy now with your body, or how do you feel
no,
about it? Are you, do you feel healthy? Is it just like you want to get back into shape, or what is it?
I don't feel healthy because I mean, after this second baby, I had like ear infection, like there are a lot of things happening, and like constant like headache or back pain. So I constantly like 5 days, 4 days per week I'm in pain.
Oh
So
gosh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
kind, it's all right. And I still like all, that all extra liquid that woman gains over the course of pregnancy is still kind of inside me. And what like, my experience with the first child shows like that up until first period, that anything won't go away. And I feel like I feel heavy, and because I'm like getting sick all this time, I feel unhealthy, and I'm connecting it to the weight.
Hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, what can I do? Because everything was closed, we got
Yeah.
Nordic track, and I was doing exercising because it came like with a 1 free year of iFit. I was exercising. Then someone told me for the back pain is really good to do the yoga. So I started to do yoga. Everything was good, and now like baby is not like baby anymore. He's more socialized. He knows how to ask for mama, like how to get mama, and like I feel bad when I'm spending time away from my kids, because I
Hmm.
think it's just very important right now to spend time with the kids. And yeah, I don't feel. And then because like I can go like half of the day without food, and then by the half of the day I'll get super hungry, so I can like sit and eat a lot at one go. Yeah, that's not healthy, and I'm trying to fight with that, but it's just
Is what
hard
it
to
is.
organize. Yeah, we my mom is in Ukraine, my husband's parents are in Massachusetts.
Hmm.
So they like, and because they're older people, nobody can come due to this coronavirus like, pandemic. So we just like here by ourselves, and we need to manage it. Like it's just two of us.
I know. And some of it too, even though you do have two young kids, it's we're all so confined to our homes that some of the exercise that we're doing is kind of only making up for exercise we should be getting anyways as we go about our day. So I know definitely, I think for everyone, it's going to take a while. I know so many people got pregnant this year right after quarantine sort of started. So, like March, April. And so now they're having their babies. And yeah, this is going to be an ongoing issue. And I think a lot of people are going to be suffering um, like mental problems as well, not just because of quarantine, but because they don't feel like they can move past, um, kind of be their old self again. So I know this is going to be a struggle for a lot of women out there. So I'm sure there's people out like listening now that are really like happy to hear your story and know that they're not alone going through all of this. And And even though you've had 7 months, like things are definitely aren't going back to normal. And I don't know, how does it feel like? Do you feel like now that you've gone through 2 pregnancies, do you view like your body and body image differently than you did, say, growing up? Like, are there any lessons to kind of take away from it?
I just remember one more thing, right now what's like super rough, because before pregnancies you can go and do shopping in terms of clothing just fine. Then with the first one, because nobody tells you, with the first one I was like, after first delivery I thought, I saw like you're pregnant and then you give a birth, and then in Ukraine usually women, they like getting discharged from the hospitals like within a week after delivery. So they kind of like showing up, and then like they have bunch of times to themselves, because in Ukraine it's more like if you don't ask for the private room, you can share it like with 2, 3, 4 women, and babies will be like in like babies department. So what you see is like lady discharging, she has this like discharge outfit, um baby had this discharge outfit, she sort of looks fine. But like I remember this first feeling, like after I got up, I saw myself like baby was gone, and then I had this like belly, like empty bag, like it was just like so wobbly. And so like what to wear, because like I never had this type of situation. Even like when I was bigger, like it never was a
Yeah.
wobbly belly. And
You're
then
like,
when
is
you
that
like,
me?
yeah, then you're like,
Is that
oh,
me?
you know that you need maternity clothes, like pregnancy
Mhm.
clothes, but you don't know that like after you will like deliver your baby, you will need something to wear before you will go back to your normal size, because you think just like, no, I just will deliver. Well, there are some women who actually do this, like after delivery they can just jump back to their jeans.
There are.
So it was very challenging for me to get clothes for after delivery. And right now it's even more challenging because like the stores were closed, and you don't want to go like, and then you don't want to go with this all returning process. So you just have to figure how to squeeze yourself in the stuff that you have. And then when you're squeezing yourself to the stuff that you have and it's super tight, it doesn't like make you feel very beautiful.
Very
But
confident, that's for sure.
yeah, coming back to your question, yes, my like thought process about the body changed. Like I will say that I became more patient to my body, because before I will be like, I will constantly throughout the day stand on the scales. Before the meal, after the meal, I will check like my weight, and if I don't see the results, I will like or go without eating, or like take the like diuretic pills, or like like other sort of pills, just like to get rid of this extra that I think is inside me. And right now I stand on the scales a couple of times, and it was like after the hospital, like after the horrible week with kids, where I was like, oh, I feel lighter. I really feel like healthier. And then I stand on the scale and there's nothing, no change. So I just stopped checking myself, and you respect your body more, I think, because usually you go, oh, so fat, so ugly. And after my first child, I was like, no, actually, I'm not. Like, my body gave me an option, like gave me a chance to have a kid who is totally healthy, who is very beautiful.
Mhm.
So I just appreciate and I love my body for that. And
I agree. I think you should be very proud that you're a mother, and if you breastfeed, it's like giving nourishment to your child and giving love and everything else. And so I'm so happy to hear that you finally just kind of stopped caring so much, because it's not about that anymore, what you think you look like or what anyone else does. You've reached this time in your life where it's about being a mother, and it's a whole different sort of phase. And I love that you're finally like, with the scale and so much more appreciative, because that's how it should be. And I feel like you go through all these things and there's not always someone to talk about it with, or you also have problems with like hormones and things like that, and that affects your weight. It affects the way you think, and it affects literally your quality of life and how you give to your children and all these things and what you think about yourself. What?
I will say one more thing, because like before, like I was doing selfies, or my mom will take pictures of me, or friends, like girlfriends. And right now my husband takes pictures of me, and like he's the worst photographer ever. So this is like another thing that influences my opinion about myself, not in a positive way. Because like I will be like, please take a picture of me, and this like beautiful location. I want to just keep this memories about this day. And then he takes the worst, like he'll just do it from up where I'll be super short, or like
I know.
straight like next to my hips that are huge right now after the delivery. He knows about it, and we're like fighting.
I
So
know. You feel amazing, and then it's like the worst photo you've ever seen of yourself, and you're like, how is this possible? But yeah, no, I feel though like once you take away all of that sort of stuff, like this whole facade of everything has to be perfect, and I have to take the perfect selfie and all those kinds of things. Once you're just comfortable with yourself and comfortable in your relationship with your husband, and comfortable being a mother, I feel like that's when things start kind of changing. But I would say, to kind of wrap things up a little bit, like if you had any words of wisdom um, to pass on to the younger generation or women who are about to become mothers, like what do you think you would tell them? I know it's a deep
I
question.
I don't know, like they, like right now I'm trying to teach my kids. I'm gonna go like, you have to take a nap, you have to appreciate your sleep. I think this is like the best words of wisdom. You have to appreciate your sleep, because if like from like moms right now, my kids will take a nap, and then like, yes, it's my scene when they're like taking a nap. I can't just turn myself on off. I'm working online, or I like do the laundry, like, or I'm cleaning up, like I'm constantly on the go. But I feel like, yeah, words of wisdom, just like get some rest, like take it easy. And
So
then,
true.
like after delivery, like for after 1 week, a lot of gross things happening with your body. It's like you're still like bleeding, and then even this like I heard that even the smell of body when you're lactating, like the sweat is like changing the smell because of the hormones. Then the breasts are leaking. Like that's gross. Like if you never deliver a child, you feel like it's gross.
Mhm.
But again, it's just like when you feel gross, you just have to remind yourself, or like just look at your baby and just remember why and what and for whom are we doing this all.
Well, I'm so glad you bring that up, because that's another thing. Like people just don't really talk about it. So I'm so happy that you are willing to share things like that, because there's people that just don't know, like that's a part of life. So, and what you can expect. But do you think if you have to pass on certain things just to your kids to teach them um, maybe a little better, or a little more than what you learned growing up? Like, how are you kind of approaching that now? I know they're very young, um, and it's a boy, so it's a little different, but how are you teaching them to, love themselves and not worry too much about, what everyone else thinks and that kind of thing?
I just remember one more thing. I think right now very important for the girls, just to teach them that they're a girl, and it's not like, because again, what growing up, it was so much about like your outside, like you have to do the makeup, you have to do your nails. No, I mean, like, I think maybe it's not true, but women are more spiritual. So like you have to raise a girl like spiritually as a woman, like for her like to have this women wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
But for my sons, I you know I don't have any like extra advices about like growing. I'm just every day I saying them, hey, you're the best. You look beautiful. Right now this whole like mask thing is very new, and it my like elder son is very young, so it was a struggle to explain him why do we have to wear masks. And right now when we go to the playgrounds, like half of the parents and kids will wear the mask, half is not. Half is like cool with your kid, like playing with their kid, half is not. So this is very challenging, but I'm just like trying to explain him that whatever happens, whatever like people is telling him, it's not on him. It's just that people problem. So like
That's a good one.
he
That's a
just
good
like
one.
needs to do whatever he feels like doing, and then if he is not agreeing with that, just trying to trouble like solve, find the ways what to do. Can we like if he's not like, I don't believe actually that like kids should wear masks when they're outside getting the fresh air, because they run so much. Like I don't understand how they can breathe, especially if it's like cloth mask. Like
Mhm.
I can breathe outside, so I'm letting him out. And then we like, if there are like parents I know that they're cool with this, they're playing together. If no, we're like very careful, checking like what's the personal boundaries little bit by little bit. If they're cool with my kids not wearing the mask, if they're cool like with getting closer, if they're cool with touching. And then if not, they're like, can you put your mask on, can you stay away from that kid, all right, let's maybe change the park, let's maybe like do something together away from other people. So it's just respect your boundaries and respect other people personal space, personal like bubble, whatever.
That's good. I think those are all great lessons to learn. Especially, I know your oldest one, you said, is like 3 years old, so it's tough. It's really tough, and I'd say good job to you for being a good mama and getting through all of this. And I hope you feel proud of yourself, not just as a mom, but just as a person, as a woman, and you're making it. So, other than the whole family dynamic, people just getting through quarantine in itself um, is difficult. Just having the pressures of modern society is difficult, and then taking care of your family is difficult. So, I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Thank you. We don't have a other choice.
No, well, I mean, I don't even know what 2020 is. I don't even know anymore. But what I do know is that I think you're doing a great job. So, and even if you had the choice, I think you would pick the same route. I think you do great. So, um, I don't know. Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us before we say goodbye?
You know, I heard only like one phrase that like stuck in my mind ever since like first pregnancy. Ever like whatever like you feel like, well, I was actually like googling if it's okay like have a glass of wine while you're
Mhm.
pregnant or whatever, and then while you're breastfeeding. And I heard this like amazing thing, what is healthy for mom is healthy for baby. What is not healthy for mom is twice as harmful for baby. So like every time like I'm doing anything, just this is the stuff that pops in my head. And I see like, or women is always like, is it okay if I, do this, do this, do this? And then this is the answer. It's very easy. If it's healthy for you, it's healthy for your child. And even if it's about like you taking time for yourself, which sometimes is like really, really like hard, if it's gonna make you feel good, then it's gonna make your child feel great.
I agree. If you're not 100%, then you can't give 100% to your family. So I'm right there with you on that. All right. Well, thank you so, so much for sharing your story. And I hope you have helped some women and inspired some women. And I don't know if anyone wants to like ask you some additional questions. Do you have a website or anything? Um,
Nope.
or they could just comment on the video. All right.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed listening to Antonita today. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.
Bye.